So, hello, Gemini. Okay, so what is Gemini? If you have not heard of Gemini before, Gemini is Google's AI assistant. All right, when Gemini first launched, it was known as Bard, and people thought this is the strangest name ever. It was just a bizarre name that seemed to kind of just appear at the time. And if you said to people, "Oh, I'm using Bard," they would have no idea what you were referring to because this was the proliferation of ChatGPT at the time. It was just launching and popping its head out of in the universe, and everybody knew what ChatGPT was. But Bard was a little bit different. Anyway, after a little bit of time, Google renamed and rebranded as Gemini, and now Gemini is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to AI. It is just as powerful as ChatGPT or Claude. In fact, they all have their strengths, they all have their weaknesses, and they're all very different. So that's the really great thing about AI. If I was going to talk to you right now, and I'm going off script here completely, and my wonderful friend Sarah Cordner would agree with me with this one. If you were wanting to experiment with these different AIs, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, this is what I encourage you to do. Go and have a look at all of these different AIs and put the same prompt into all three and see the output. See if it gives you something that is similar or gives you something that is completely different, because then you can do a little bit of thinking and you can, do a little bit of soul searching and see what comes up with there. So an example is I have been doing some things in the background here, and we've got some things happening. Can't tell you too much about them so far, but I can tell you that there's little clues that are all over the place. So if you keep an eye out, you might see some little clues all around. And I actually did that particular process. I actually got ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini to look at the same prompt and see what it gave me. And thank goodness it actually did give me very similar responses across all three, which was wonderful. So that's a little segue there. So Google's AI is known as Gemini. So let's have a look at some of the really great things that Gemini can. Why can Gemini help us? So we've just talked about the fact that Gemini is the AI tool developed by Google. Okay, Gemini can help users such as you and I generate ideas, write content, summarize information, create resources, answer questions, and support problem solving. Pretty much every single thing that AI is designed to do. All right, so don't think that, I'm saying that one AI is better than the other. Absolutely not. Every single AI pretty much does the same thing. You might get different responses based on the different types of learning and knowledge models that are used, but they are all able to provide you with so many opportunities and resources. And educators can actually use Gemini to save time, to personalize learning and support classroom planning and creativity. And Gemini is so fantastic, especially if you are a Google Workspace school or you have access to Google Workspace, because Gemini is so heavily embedded in Google Workspace. If you have access to that within your particular department or school or district or wherever you're located, Gemini is a tool that you can now really use and access quite easily if you are using Google Workspace. So hello, Gemini. Thank you for being there. And we are looking forward to exploring you a little bit more